welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be doing an alter neck top. So someone, not even someone, I've been having lots of requests about this video. So I think it's high time we deal with this tutorial. So I'm going to be making it very simple and easy. So we're going to draft it on a pattern paper and then before we transfer to our fabric. So it is a very simple process. So for this one, we're going to be doing the one that has a waist dart. So there are actually different ones. You can do the one that has a princess dart. Okay, so I have my basic lines here on my pattern paper already. So this is my shoulder line. So I'm out of marker, so I'm just going to use a pen. And then this is my bust line. Since it is not a bust here, we're just going to take our half cut measurement. This is our half cut. So if you are new to my channel, if you have not subscribed, please, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button and then hit on the bell on the side also to get an update whenever I upload a new video. So if you want to register for my online classes, so you could see my number scrolling through the screen. So we have a new class now, which is an Igbo / Madam blouse class. So for those of you that want to learn how to sew Igbo blouse, off shoulder blouses, so you could contact me. So you could see my number scrolling through the screen. And then our other previous classes, we have a beginners class, we have an advanced class, we have a ready to wear class for people that want to go into ready to wear business to sew and sell. And then we have an intermediate class, we have a trouser and jumpsuit class, and then we also have a corset class. So just send me a message on WhatsApp and then I'll give you the details of all of the classes. Okay, so let's get started. So I have my lines, my basic lines here. So the first line I'm going to use as my shoulder line, and then I have my bust point line, which is 10 inches. That's for my bust point. And then I have my half cut line, which is 17. I added 2 inches to it, so I have 19. So that's my half cut line. So the first measurement I'm going to add here is the shoulder line. So the shoulder for this dress is actually 7 inches. This is my 7 inches for my shoulder line. So I'm just going to add half of an inch to it here. So I'll bring it close. And then from this point, I'm going to take half of my armhole measurement. So which is, I'm using 8 inches. Most times I always like using 8 inches. I don't like using 9 because 9 most times is always too big. So I'll use 8 inches from this point like this. I'm just going to connect this line like this 8 inches line, and then I will roll it out like this. So the next thing I'm going to place my pattern curve like this to get my armhole. So this is for my front armhole measurement. So when I'm transferring to my fabric, I'll add to the back armhole. So this is my armhole measurement. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to mark out the full body measurement before we come back to the neckline. So I'm going to mark my bust measurement. My bust is 36. So when you divide 36 into 4, you have 9 inches. This is 9 inches. So I'm going to add 2 inches for my allowance. The next measurement that I'm going to mark now, I'm going to mark my half cut measurement. So for my half cut, I'm going to use 40 inches. So when you divide 40 into 4, you have 10. This is 10. So I'll add my 2 inches also on this part like this. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to mark it out like this. Okay, so this is my basic bodice for the top part. So this I'm going to use for the back and the front. The next thing we're going to do now, we're going to add our neckline. It is a simple process. So for the neckline, I'm going to be using 3 inches. I don't want it to be too wide. So this is 3 inches here. I'll mark my 3 inches like this. And then I'm going to mark my back neckline. So for the back neckline, I want it to be high. So I'll use 1 inch. So I'm just going to mark Okay, so this is my back neckline. So from this point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and then I'm going to slope in my shoulder slope. I'll just slope it into my neckline points like this. Okay, so the next measurement, I'm going to add my back neckline. So for the back neckline, depends on how high or how low you want it. So for this, I'm going to be using 3 inches. I'm just going to mark 3 inches like this, and then I'm going to curve that 3 inches into the width, which is 3 inches. So that means I'm using 3 inches by 3 inches for my neckline. So this is what I have. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to cut out the collar. So I'm going to explain 2 ways of actually cutting out a halter neck collar for you. So the first one, if you want to draft out the collar directly from your pattern, that will make the halter neckline a little bit down. That's because we're going to use 2 inches for our collar. So if you are cutting out 2 inches now from your pattern, that halter neck is not really going to be too high, or too it's not really going to be too high. But if you don't want to do that one that is not high, that's if you want a very high halter neck, you are going to have to use another pattern to cut out your collar. So I'm going to explain to you. So for instance, this is our first piece now. So I'm just going to leave our first piece and then explain with this one that we have here now. So I have all of my dimensions, all of them, they are the same. The neckline width, all of them, they are the same on this pattern. So if you are going to do the one that you are going to cut out directly, that's cut out the collar from your pattern, here is what you are going to do. You are going to mark 2 inches round, depends on how many inches width you want for your collar. So you are going to mark like this. This is 2 inches now. So I'm just taking it round like this, around my front neckline. So you can use your pattern curve to actually blend it out like this. So with this is my collar. This is my round collar already. So from this point to this point is my collar. That's for the front pattern. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the back, just the way I measured like this. So let me just open my pattern paper to make it easier. So I'm just trying to explain so you understand. So this is for the front. So I'll draft the one for the back now. Okay, so this is for the front collar. So the back, the same process that we did. You're just going to come to this point like this. You're going to mark your 2 inches. Just mark it round. See, it is a very simple process to draft out this round collar. You can actually use this also to cut. You can just place it on the back piece and cut it out. So this is the back collar. So I'm just trying to blend it. So this is the back collar, and then this is the front collar. So when you cut it out like this, so I already have the collar for the front, and then I have the collar for the back. So you know this is going to be 2, while this one is 1. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do now, so since I already have my collar, so I'm going to join them together. You can decide to join them. You can decide to do it single. So for this, what we're going to do now, we're going to cut out our crease in the outer neckline on our pattern. So I'm just going to come to this point like this, on this neckline point. So if I wanted to cut this out, I would have cut I would have placed it. If I want a deep outer neckline, I would have cut this out like this from my pattern like this. But since I want a high one, that is why I had to cut out this separately. So you can actually still cut this out and then still insert your outer neckline like this. So I'm just using this as a rough sketch, so you can cut this out. So with this, you are not going to have an outer neckline that is very high. So I hope you understand. But since we want a high one, so you know, you ignore this line. Since we want a high one, we're just going to come like this, and then I'm going to place 2 inches like this. Place my tape here. I'll mark 2 inches to this neckline point. So this is 2 inches. So this 2 inches, I'm just going to slope it into my armhole point like this. So you don't want it to be too open. So I'm just going to slope it like this into this point, and then I'll use my pattern curve like this to blend it in on this down part like this. So I'm just trying to highlight it since I'm using a pen to blend it in like this. So you see what we have. So all these parts now we're going to cut out the whole of all these parts. All of this part we're going to cut out, and then we have our neckline. So this collar we're going to attach to that part. Okay, so I'll cut my dress. That's my pattern rather, like this. So I'll cut out the neckline like this. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to, I'll cut out just the back neckline first. So I'll use it to cut out the back. So after cutting out the back, I'll take out this part. So I'll place on my fabric now. So this is my collar. So it's just this very simple process. Okay, so I have my back pattern. So the next thing, what I'm just going to do now, I'm going to use this to cut out the front pattern. So for the front, so the back neckline is already out. So for the front piece, I'm just going to fold my fabric, and then I'll include make sure you add allowance. If you are using the pattern, just add about 1/4 inch around. So this is for the front. So we're going to take out the front neckline now. So you see how simple it is. So we have our front pattern and our back pattern also. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to cut our collar. I'm just going to take my remaining fabric. So I'll cut out the back collar. So I'm going to add allowance to it. Under, I'll add 1/4 inch under, and then 1/4 inch on top. Because this down part, this is the part I'm going to attach on the neckline. This part will seal up this part. So I want you to note, so for your collar, if you are going to be adding a zipper to your dress, the back collar, you need to add your zipper allowance to it. But if you are not going to add a zipper to it, if it's just going to be like a button, you really don't need to add an allowance to it. So I just want you to note. So mine, I will add a zipper allowance to it. So that is why I have this allowance for my zip. So it's going to stay like this. So you see how it is looking fine. This is for the back. So I'll cut out the front piece also right now. Okay, so for your front neckline, make sure you put your fabric on fold. So because you know it is round, so you put it on fold like this, and then you cut out. So the next thing, you are going to cut out double because you are going to turn it. So I'll cut out the second ones now for both the back and the front. And then for the front piece and the back piece, your remember to add your dart to it. So for my own dart, I'm just going to use my bust pan measurement. So I'll include that. Okay, so I finished cutting all of my pieces. So this is the front pieces, the front collar. So you open it up like this. So this is the back, this is the zipper side. So it's going to stay like this. So you can decide to join all of them together into one. So this is the side that will join to this side like this. And then this side will join to this side just to form one round collar like this. So this is the zipper allowance part. You can decide to do it this way, or you can decide to do it single single. So I'm going to do it single single because I want it to sit properly. So I'll go and take this, I'll turn with this now. So I'm going to turn it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stitch on the neckline like this. So I'll turn on this top part of the neckline, but I'll leave the down part because that's where we're going to connect. I'll do the same thing to the back piece also. And then my bodice, I'll go and insert my dart. I'll insert the dart and then I'll join both the back and the front together on the side seam and then come back and show you how it looks like. Okay, so I finished joining the side of my top. I've added the dart on it. So for the collar, so I'm going to explain. So for the collar, so I joined the back collar to the front collar. So this is the front collar, this is the back collar. And then I got the center of the front of my collar. This is the center. So I'm going to explain now how to fix your collar. So for this kind of collar pattern, there are some pieces that you can actually turn both the up and the down of your collar. So you see that the top part is turned. You can turn it all out and then you pass, as in that's from the under, that's from the side, you open up and then you iron. So with that, you don't have to stitch some part and jump some part. So and then you can still fix it around and then it will be neat. But for this, I did not turn it around. So this is the center part of my collar. So for the joining on the of the back neckline, that's the joining of the back collar rather, is going to help me as a guide to know where I'm going to stop. So this is the front piece. So I'll take the center of my front like this. So this is the front, this is the center of the front. So I'm just going to like pin it. So I just want to explain it for you from this right side so you will understand it properly. And then when I get to this neckline, this is the front neckline where it ends. It's going to be fixed. Note, it's going to be fixed right side facing right side. So I'm just explaining this. And then this comes to this part like this. Okay, so when you get to this part, so you see the front neckline is fixed. So you know that our back collar, sorry, I keep calling it neckline. Our back collar is actually starting from this point. So this part is the part that is going to rest on the shoulder. So you are not going to leave it like this. So that was what I was talking about, you turning everything at first. So from this part to this part, that's from this point now to this point, it should not be rough. So you should sew and turn, as in sew and turn the same way you sew it and turn. So make sure that this part is neat, there are no rough edges on this part. So this will serve as a guide. So from this part now, the back neckline, so with this joint here for this front neckline and the back neckline, you will know where the back neckline will start from, like this. So you will now know that, okay, the back neckline is going to start from this point. So I've not fixed the zipper yet, so I'm just going to open it up a little bit. Sorry about that. So I'll take like this now. So the back neckline is going to start from here because I have my cuts here. So I will know. So I'll pin it like this. And then this is going to come and go into the collar. So you see it's sitting perfectly where on our zipper allowance, because you need the allowance like I explained earlier for you to be able to fix your zipper. But if you are not fixing a zipper, you can decide not to add an allowance to it. So you see how it is looking now on this side. So you see how it is sitting properly and neatly. So the same thing I'm going to do to this side. So on this side also, we have gotten to the end of the neckline. So the back neckline is going to start from where the back joining is. So that will serve as a guide. So this part should not be rough. Okay. So we'll pin it like that. I'm just pinning so you will know. And then I'll take it into my back neckline like that. So I have a little bit of excess on this side. No problem. I'm going to trim off. So it's a little bit not standing well because I have not fixed an iron. So you see at the end of the day, so you see how it is going to look like. So this is how it's going to look like. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take it back to my machine and just stitch it just the way I explained. And then for the armhole, depends on you. You can decide to turn your original fabric with a lining. So when you turn originally with a lining, you are not going to have any rough edges. So for mine, I'm just going to finish my own armhole. I'll finish up with a bias and then the side. So for the sleeve, if you want us to do the sleeve that we have on the thumbnail, that cloudy sleeve, you can the drop it on the comment section. So it depends on how many people want it, then we'll know if we'll do the tutorial, or if not, I'm just going to add a simple cold shoulder sleeve to this. So I'm going to go ahead and go and stitch just the way I explained to you, and then bring it back for you to see how it should look like at the end of the day. Okay, so at the end of the day, so you can see how our alter neck line dress came out. So it came out beautifully well. So you could see, so the edges, I just finished it up. So like I said, if you want us to do the sleeve, just drop a comment on the comment section, and then we'll I'll make a tutorial about the sleeve. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I will appreciate if you will hit on the like button. So those of you that requested for this video, so after watching this video, you should be able to cut and sew and halter neck line dress easily and simple. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you.